Print statements are probably the most used feature in Replay. They are essentially console logs that you can add to your replay. They'll help you reveal valuable information from your runtime and give you valuable insight when debugging your application. So let's see them in action. In my viewer, I can see the replay that I have recorded. When I hover over any of the actions, there's a blue button that indicates jump to code. This allows me to open the file and the exact line that was ran when the click event happened. Over here we can see that there is this function call whenever onChange event happens. There is a value passed into that function and we can take a look into it. To add a print statement, I'll hover over the line that I'm interested in, click the plus symbol, and I can already see in my console the default text being printed out. onChange and 19 as in the line number. This works exactly like adding a console log. In fact, you can see my print statement combined with all of the error messages that my application threw. If I just want to see my print statements, I can head over to this menu icon and remove all of the logs and errors. This will now show only my print statements. So let's now change what this print statements will print out. Instead of the default text, I'm going to print out this even target value. When I confirm this, I can now see the values being printed out. It says green and blue, which are exactly the values that I clicked on. I first clicked on the green button and then clicked on the blue button. In the console, I can actually fast forward to the next instance, or I can rewind back to the previous instance. What happens when I do that is that the cursor in my viewer is going to jump to the green and blue button respectively. In other words, I'm taken to the exact moment where this line of code was executed. You can also see this happen in the timeline. I move forward and backward depending on which moment in the timeline I'm at. And as the hit count suggests, the onColorChange function was called twice. And therefore we have two print statements in our console. Besides clicking in the console, I can also move in between these print statements by hitting these left and right arrows. The dropdown over here enables me to add a conditional. So for example, if I just want to see all of the instances where the even target value is blue, I can go ahead and write the condition. After I confirm, I'll see only the single instance where the value is blue. Besides printing out values, I can print out any text and basically format this as I would a normal console log. So let's annotate this by typing in the color is and then even target value. And now in my console, I can see that the color is blue. If you prefer using template literals, you can do that. So let's now remove this condition and go back to our viewer. In my replay, there's a third click that clicks on this Add to Cart button. So let's now jump into code and see what's happening here. I'll also hide this side panel so it doesn't get in the way. So as we click the Add to Cart button, we can see that there's this handle submit function that's going to make an API call. When debugging, I'm interested in what's being sent to the server. So it seems like this form data variable might be interesting for us. I'm going to add a print statement and try to print out the form data. But when I confirm this, I get an error. Let's take a closer look. The reason why I'm getting this error is because I'm trying to add a print statement on the same line that the constant form data is being defined. Adding a print statement in Replay works the same way as a console log. We first need to have a thing defined and then print it out. So for this reason, if I'm interested in the form data, I need to add the console log one line below. When I print it out now, we can finally see the output. Now, since I now have multiple print statements, I'm going to differentiate it by clicking on this circle and adding a color to it. That way, I can tell which one is which. But I can also tell by looking at this reference link. Whenever I want to take a look at all of the print statements that I have added, I can click on pause information in the side panel. I can hide or show any of the print statements that I have added, or I can delete them altogether. And this is how you reveal vital information from the application runtime. In upcoming lessons, we'll be using print statements more and more, and you'll see how they can help you see pretty much anything that happens in your app.